Hi, I'm Darren Starwynn. The name of this message is What I Stand Against. Now, if you heard my last message, which was What I Stand For, Breaking the Taboo, you learn what that number one taboo is that keeps most people in a box of limited experience. And you also learn what a solution is to help them to break out of that. Now, in this message today, I'm going to flip it around to the other side and tell you what I stand against. What I really stand against is ignorance. Ignorance in others and ignorance in myself. And since I'm in the healthcare field and that's my main focus in life, I have some beefs about how ignorance affects this field. There's three main ones that I want to share with you. The first one is ignorance of all the waste and corruption that goes on in our healthcare field, where this creates our system in America the most expensive healthcare system in the world by far. And yet we're only 16th or 17th in the world in actual quality of care and quality of life that people get from being in this system. I have a real beef about that ignorance. I also found out that if just the money that was wasted in hospitals alone were put toward care, every single human being in the United States could have total paid up health care, and we wouldn't need to raise taxes at all. We could probably lower taxes just from eliminating waste. So that's something that's ignorant that I have a problem with. The second part of ignorance that I have a beef about is ignorance on the part of patients. The fact that they're indoctrinated and brought up in such a way that they put the power outside of themselves. They don't see the real causative factor of how they're really creating their own suffering. And so as a result of that, they give their power away to this big medical machine and even to holistic health practitioners. And because of that, the help they get is usually temporary and they don't actually get to the point of truly transforming their life. So that's another thing that's based on a form of ignorance. Now, the third form of ignorance that I want to talk about is ignorance on the part of us healthcare practitioners. Now, this is where what I'm going to say could come across as kind of controversial or in your face. But hey, I'm sounding off about what I'm against, so I'm going to be really honest with you. You know, there's so many people that are really dedicated, wonderful practitioners that I personally know as acupuncturists and holistic healers and different kinds of physicians and chiropractors and massage therapists and so on that really love what they're doing and give their all to it. But you know, they're still only treating a certain aspect of what these patients need. They could be actually treating them and helping them on other levels that would be much more advantageous. So to tell you what I mean by that, let me tell you another one of my little stories here. This is another story from Asia called The Blind Men and the Elephant. You know, you've probably heard this one before, where there's a little town square and there's 4 or 5 blind men sitting in a circle, and an elephant walks in their midst. And when the elephant comes, it stops near them and they start feeling the elephant with their hands because they can't see. So one blind man feels the elephant's trunk, one blind man feels its tail, one feels the leg, and one other one feels the side of the elephant. So after the elephant then moves on, they get together and compare notes. So one blind man says, I always wanted to know what an elephant is. And now I know an elephant is just like a vine hanging down, because he had felt the tail. The guy said, no, you're wrong. It's much thicker than that. It's like a big moving trunk of some kind. And then another one said, oh, no, you're both wrong. It's more like a tree trunk, because he had felt the leg. And then the fourth one said, no, you're all crazy. It's like a big wall. So they started arguing with each other. No, you're wrong. You know, how could you say that? You're so ignorant. You know, the truth is they were all right, but they're only seeing part of the elephant. So I think you see where I'm going with this, is that even as holistic health providers, even as people who are very skilled and dedicated, most of us are still pretty myopic. We're still just seeing what's in our own world and thinking that's really all there is. So whether someone is a microlight therapy practitioner, which is of course the thing that I've created, the Accutron, or whether they're into FSM and they're really good at their frequency-specific microcurrent, or whether they're into naturopathy and working with natural medicine or adjusting the back or whatever it is, we tend to think that this is mainly what's going to help people. And it does help people. But you know, it's helping them to a certain extent. And I feel this is a form of ignorance, that actually we could expand our own consciousness so we sense more of the bigger need of that patient, so that while we're helping them with those symptoms or with those imbalances, we could be a stand for that person to really claim the power of healing within themselves and move out of that idea of limitation. So this is what I really am a stand for. So even when people's symptoms are eased and they're feeling better, they still are pretty much living in a more limited box of limited amount of aliveness and fulfilling their life in most cases. So how would you love to be the hero that actually helps them to break out of that? And you not only help them with their symptoms, but you actually help them to fulfill their life and really feel fully alive. Well, you can. And I found that when I do that, and I've been doing that more and more in my recent years, is that people express a lot of gratitude to me for that. And that's absolutely the best form of marketing. Grateful patients that really feel that spontaneous feeling of being so grateful are the ones that will tell other people and say, you really got to go see this person. Well, anyway, in the next video, I want to share with you what I consider to be one of the greatest breakthroughs in the healthcare field. And this is something that any one of us can integrate into whatever professional skills that we are doing right now. Anyway, there's a whole series of these videos, ones that are like this with these messages, and also ones with guided meditations and treatment protocols. And you can get access to the whole library by opting in at www.bridge2mastery.com. I'd love to share all this information with you. So thank you so much for your kind attention. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.